Hello everyone, another video covering spoilers of Battlebond. In the recent couple of days we had nice reprints and nice cards spoiled that will be part of the Battlebond set. Battlebond is a themed set which will focus on two-headed giant and also EDH. Let's begin our spoilers. I will discuss only the cards that I believe to have value and matter in the game. Blaze, X and 1 red. Blaze deals X damage to any target. This is a reprint, it's an excellent and nice reprint and a very good card in limited. Spell Snare, this was indeed needed. For 1 blue, you counter target spell with converted mana cost 2. These are the uncommons, and now we'll proceed with the rares. Angelic Chorus, for 3 and 2 white, whenever creatures enter the battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to its toughness. Apocalypse Hydra, X, 1 red and 1 green. Apocalypse Hydra enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. If X is 5 or more, it enters the battlefield with an addition X +1/+1 counters on it. Quite excellent and strong creature. Archon of Valor Reach. It has flying, vigilance and trample, and when it enters the battlefield you choose an artifact, enchantment, instant, sorcery or planeswalker, and player can cast those spells. Bonus round, for 1 and 2 red, until end of turn, whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, that player's copies and may choose new targets for the copy. Diabolic Intent, 1 and 1 black. As an additional cost to cast the spell you need to sacrifice a creature, and you search for your library for a card, then put into your hand, then shuffle your library. Evil Twin, this is a reprint from recent sets. Goblin Race Runner, for 2 and 2 red. You have 1 and 1 red, sacrifice a land, put a +1/+1 counter on Goblin Race Runner. At the beginning of your end step, you may have Goblin Race Runner deals damage equal to the number of +1/+1 counter to it to target player or planeswalker. Greater Good, this is another very good reprint. For 2 and 2 green, you sacrifice a creature, you draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power, then discard 3 cards. Guafa Hasid Profiteer, it's a legendary creature. It's a good creature for EDH. For 1 white and 1 blue, you tap and put a bribery counter on target creature you don't control. Its controller draws a card. Creature bribery counters on them can't attack or block. Covert Fury, for 4 and 1 red. For each player, choose friend or foe. Remember, this is a two-headed giant team deck, therefore you will have a friend and a foe. Each friend discards all cards from their hand, then draw that many cards +1. Covert Fury deals damage to each foe equal to number of cards in their hands. Core Spirit Dancer, 1 and 1 white. Core Spirit Dancer gets +2/+2 for each aura attached to it. Whenever you cast an aura spell, you may draw a card. This is an excellent reprint, a much needed reprint, and is one of those cards that is increasing the value of Battlebond. Last One Standing, this is another very good card. I believe this is if it was standard it will be broken. For 1 red and 1 black, you choose a creature at random, then destroy the rest. Magmatic Force, at the beginning of each upkeep, Magmatic Force deals 3 damage to any target. Magus of the Candelabra, X, for 1 green, you have a 1/2 creature, X, tap, untap, X target lands. Mangara of Korondor, exile Mangara of Korondor and target permanent. Mind's Eye, whenever an opponent draws a card, you may pay 1, if you do, you draw a card too. Mystic Conference, choose 3, you may choose the same mode more than once. Counter target spell unless its controller is placed 3. Return target creature to its owner hand, and you draw a card. You can choose multiple times the same ability. Next has it As it enters the battlefield, choose an opponent. It gets -1/-1 for each card in that chosen player's hand. Akuna, Eyes of Chaos. This has a partner, and his partner is Sanskrit. It's a very difficult to pronounce the name, I'm sorry. Eye of Wisdom, and it's the partner of Akuna. Pure Swim. For each player, choose a friend or foe. Each friend searches their library for a land card, puts it into the battlefield tapped, then shuffles their library. Each foe sacrifices an artifact or enchantment they control. Seedborn Muse. This is another reprint from Legions. I remember the Legions card and the artwork of that time. It's much more, a little bit darker than this reprint. It is a 2/4 creature, spirit, untap all permanents you control during each other's player's untap step. Sentinel Tower, 4 artifact. Whenever an instant sorcery spell is cast during your turn, Sentinel Tower deals damage to any target equal to 1, plus the number of instant sorcery spells before that spell this turn. Spell Seeker. When Spellseeker enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost 2 or less, reveal it, put into your hand, then shuffle your library. Thrink Anchor. Put onto the battlefield under your control all creatures cards in all graveyards that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Together Forever, for 2 white. Together Forever enters the battlefield. It has support 2. For 1, choose target creature with a counter on it. When the creature dies this turn, return that card to its owner's hand. This is a very good card into Headed Giant. Victory Chimes. Untap Victory Chimes during each other player's untap step. You tap a player of your choice at 1 colorless mana. Virtuous Maneuver. For each player, choose friend or foe. Each friend returns a creature card from their graveyard to their hand. Each foe sacrifices a creature they control. Also a very good card. Warstall. Whenever an opponent taps a land for mana, tap all lands that player controls. If a creature an opponent controls attack, all creatures that opponent controls attack if able. This is a very good enchantment which locks the player that they have to cast the spells on their turn, as when an opponent taps a land, you have the right to tap all lands that players control. The player has and can tap the lands before you untap them, but if he doesn't, you untap them. It's a very good card. We have Johnson's Judgment. For each player, choose a friend or foe. Each friend creates a token that's a copy of a creature they control. Each foe returns a creature they control to its owner's hand. Now we have the Mythics. Arcane Artisan, 2 and 1 blue, 0/3 human wizard. For 2 and 1 blue, you tap, target player draws a card, then exile a card from their hand. If a creature card is exiled this way, the player creates a token that's a copy of that card. When an Arcane Artisan leaves the battlefield, exile all token creatures created with it. Bramble Sovereign, 2 and 2 green. Whenever another token creature enters the battlefield, you may pay 1 and 1 green. If you do, the creature's controller creates a token that's a copy of that creature. Brightling. Brightling has 4 abilities. Can gain Vigilance, can gain Lifelink. You can return it to its owner's hands, or it gets a +1 or -1, or a -1 or +1 until end of turn. Grotma All Devouring. Other creatures have, whenever this creature attacks, you may have it fight Grotma All Devouring. When Grotma All Devouring leaves the battlefield, each player draws cards equal to the number of amount damage dealt to Grotma this turn by sources they control. It is a 5 for a 10/8 creature. Najil the Blade Blossom. Whenever a warrior attacks, you may have its controller create a 1/1 white warrior creatures token that's tapped and attacking. For the 5 mana, untap all creatures, attacking creatures, they gain trample, lifelink and haste until end of turn. After this phase, you have another combat phase. Last, we have Caustic Lattice. This is very strong, a reprint from 5th Dawn, and this was one of those cards needed.